Rita asks, "Hi, Dr. Kaur. I know you're not a nutritionist per se, but what do you think are the best foods for heart health? And conversely, what foods do you think should be absolutely avoided?" Hi, Brita. I'm so glad you're asking this question because we all think about things like family history, or smoking, or things that may seem obvious that affect our heart health. But really, nutrition can be just as impactful, if not more sometimes. Let's review some of the top foods for heart health. Now, number one, we have salmon. Salmon is wonderful when it comes to heart health, but it has to be the right kind of salmon. When you go to the grocery store, you may notice that there is Atlantic salmon, Faroe Island salmon, and then king salmon. Now, king salmon out of those is probably the healthiest and has the highest amount of omega-3s. Now, what are omega-3s, you ask? Well, these are anti-inflammatory minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, nutrients, all of the above in the body that really help to reduce your risk of heart disease by reducing inflammation, by reducing blood pressure, and by reducing the amount of bad cholesterol you have in your body. At number two, we have olive oil. I know that this has been all over social media at one point and the news and media in general that olive oil is great for your heart. And that's because it has a good amount of antioxidants in it. In fact, did you know that there was a study done at Yale that showed that a half tablespoon of olive oil daily reduced the risk of heart disease by 19%? Now, that's just one study, and we never hang our hat on just one study for any medical condition, but that's quite compelling information. So if I had to choose which oil I'm cooking with, I would definitely choose olive oil over vegetable oils. Number three, we have walnuts. I love walnuts, and it's great because they help to lower cholesterol. And they do this by containing those wonderful omega-3s and something called alpha linoleic acid, which also reduces inflammation. Then we have oranges. Oranges are wonderful, especially here in the state of Florida. We get them abundantly. And oranges help by lowering cholesterol and by giving your body something called fiber. Most of us have heard about fiber, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It promotes the excretion of cholesterol through your stool, and that's one way in which it lowers cholesterol in the body. But it also helps with regulation and metabolism of carbohydrates, of insulin, of glucose, and of fats. So all in all, it is kind of like the magic pill that helps with your body's health. Then number four, we have avocados, which is great. Avocados have a really good amount of healthy fats. And remember, there are healthy fats as well. I know a lot of times we think of fats and think, "Ooh, that's a bad thing." But no, there's good fats and there's bad fats. So just be cognizant of that. At number six, we have low-fat yogurt. And this contains calcium, which in some studies has also been shown to reduce cholesterol. Cherries at number eight. Ooh, let's not forget dark chocolate at number seven. That is one of my favorite things. Now, there's different types of dark chocolate. So remember, the one that we're talking about has to be at least 70% cacao. And this helps by reducing LDL, which is that bad cholesterol, the cholesterol that promotes the formation of plaques in the heart arteries and of heart disease. Now, how much dark chocolate do you need and all of that? It's really unknown. And remember, a lot of dark chocolate also has sugar in it. So even though it's healthy, everything in moderation. Number eight, we have cherries. Cherries are great because they are chock full of antioxidants like anthocyanins, which reduce bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol. So that's always nice. Number nine, we have dark leafy greens. Oh yes, so kale, spinach, broccoli. These have a lot of vitamins, minerals, and nitrates that also help to reduce cholesterol and inflammation. And last but not least, we have black beans, which have a lot of antioxidants, folate, magnesium, and they also have fiber. So remember, take all of this with a grain of salt. Anything that is done in moderation is good, but remember, too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing. So just be careful of that. Now, as far as what foods to avoid, well, anything that's processed. So anything that was made in a factory, anything that was made and comes in a bag or comes in a packaged or pre-made is generally a processed food that you want to avoid. Now, the exception to that is frozen vegetables, which technically are processed, but they're minimally processed. So frozen vegetables that just have the actual vegetable in it are okay. You just want to be careful that there's not a bunch of additives or preservatives in those items. The other things that you want to avoid are sugary drinks, processed sugars in general, white carbs, unnatural carbs. Potatoes and sweet potatoes, those are good carbs, so those are okay. But white bread, processed rice, you want to be mindful and not consume too much of that and really try to avoid it. Fried foods, greasy foods, all of the good stuff, unfortunately. Once in a while, these things are okay to consume, but please don't consume them regularly.